Men, clear mind gets clear results. This is the law of attraction for men. If you've ever played sport, you know the ball goes where you aim, where you're facing, when you throw it, kick it, hit it. That's the direction it travels. Today, I'm calling that the law of attraction. And before you switch off, I know that phrase comes loaded with crystals and vision boards and photos of manifested Lamborghinis, but that's not what I'm talking about. This isn't just about thinking good things and hoping they happen. It's a whole body alignment, your thoughts, your actions, your chemistry, all pointing in the same direction. And even if you don't believe a word of manifestation, by the end of this episode, I'm going to show you why it makes sense anyway. Roll theme. Welcome to the Jonnie Jensen Show, where modern dads discover how to create the true riches, relationships and results they deserve. Get your High Value Man blueprint and join our community at highvaluemanproject.com. Let's go. Hello men, welcome back to the Jonnie Jensen Show. Good to have you here as always. Today, the law of attraction, manifestation, making shit happen. That comes with a lot of connotations. And obviously, since The Secret was published, it's got to be some sort of 25 years ago now, it's much more popular or common to know about these things. But in terms of real world terms, in terms of everyday use, it doesn't have to be something you either believe in or don't believe in. Like I said in the intro, what if it was as clear as the ball going in the direction you're facing when you hit it or kick it or throw it? That is about your alignment. That's the focus on the direction you're headed. And that's the essence of the High Value Man Project. I'm the founder and the head coach of this program and community for midlife dads, for motivated men, mostly business owning men, because those guys are up to stuff. They put something on the line to create the results they want. The wife, the family, the home, the business, the freedom. You may not have a business, but you might want that anyway. That's what we're talking about. Men who are not willing to accept second best or struggle as the norm. So this topic is key to that. What if you could get exactly what you want? Now, it doesn't mean click your fingers and get it, like rub the genie lamp and it turn up. It's not about that. And it's not just about sitting on your backside and praying either. It's about a concerted focus and alignment, but really at an honest level where your thoughts don't undermine that outcome, where your actions are consistent with that desired outcome, where everything you say and do, where every part of your being is that outcome. That's the law of attraction. That's manifestation. And there is a quantum mechanics part about it. There is an energy, universal energy about it. But even if you don't believe in that, surely what I said to start with makes sense. Like every piece of the machine is aligned for the result. If this conversation already starting to prick your ears up and starting to make sense, then go to the High Value Man scorecard and discover where you're leaking, possibly leaking your energy, connection, joy, all the things that give you the life that you desire, being the man and dad that you want to be. It takes about 2 or 3 minutes, bunch of questions, pretty quick, obviously, and you get a fully personalized response back based on your answers, all run through the High Value Man system for living. So go to highvaluemanproject.com/score. That's highvaluemanproject.com/score. And that will start your High Value Man journey right here today. So this subject, get clear on what you want and it will happen. So yeah, that is manifestation in action. You know, in prayer, ask and it shall be given. There's a reason that was put in there, regardless of whether you're Christian or not. There is an intentionality, about an energy, a determination about this thing that I mean, I could say humans, but I think it's pretty much in this planet, right? What happens when you push a bird out of a nest? The majority of the time, it's done at just the right time with just the right intent, and the flipping thing works out how to fly before it hits the floor. That's what we're talking about here. The intentionality of what you're up to is going to create the path, the route to you actually having it. So we're going to go through that today and break down some of those things so it becomes a structured process for you to adopt. So when you're clear about what you're focused on, everything gets easier, which in turn means that your energy is freed up for the mission ahead, for the thing that you say you desire. It doesn't mean you even have to have it solved at that point, but it is a clear idea about what you're up to. Because then that's where you get hungry. That's where you start to lean into the idea. That's where you get curious and interested about what you're up to. New ideas spark new thoughts in your mind, like new neural pathways, new connections between one fresh idea and one thing you thought about ages ago, or one thing that someone told you last week and something random that someone told you today. You had no idea they were going to connect together. But here you are in this state of mind where the outcome is clear for you. And now you're starting to backfill with the stepping stones, with the pieces. Like this, no surprise. There's a strong theme to around everything that we talk about here on the Jonnie Jensen show. And so when you get this clear, magic does start to happen, right? The momentum is inevitable. It's actually infectious to the people around you. My evidence for that, my proof for that is the number of times the men who are working with me, the men who are either in the Forge group or working in Elite one-on-one with me, they say, and I love it when I hear it, you'll never guess what. The number of times I hear that line over and over, you'll never guess what. And it comes from men putting the desired outcome in motion. I'm not sure what the thing they're going to tell me is going to be, but it doesn't surprise you when they tell me that, guess what, this thing, this surprising outcome, this mad opportunity, this crazy coincidence has just happened. So how do we get there, right? Just briefly touched on having that clear idea. You've got to get honest, though, about any doubts, any questions in your mind, any concerns about that desired outcome actually happening, though. Because if we break this down, if in the first breath you say, I want to be fit and strong, how about that? We just keep it basic. If in the first breath you want to go, I want to be fit and strong, I am going to be fit and strong, or even as we talk about in the I am exercise inside of courage, it's just your I am fit and strong, that level of clarity. It's a future motion. It's a living it out in the present tense. Whether you've got it yet or not got it, your being is I am fit and healthy. So everything else follows. If, however, in your second breath, you're like, oh yeah, but that's going to cost money and that's going to be hard work and I'm going to feel tired at the end of it. And I did try that once before and it didn't really work, or I joined the gym and it was expensive and I didn't really go. So I'm not really sure. If you've got a load of garbage thoughts floating around the subject, then that isn't like the result you desire isn't the truest thought. It's that underlying doubt and negativity. It's the stink in the room that is actually going to be running the show. Because no matter how close you get, if the final thought is, yeah, but I'm not really sure I can do it, then boom, it gets taken out right at the last minute. And that's why saying positive things or wishing for positive things aren't necessarily enough, right? Of course, they're not enough. But that's where people get hung up on this whole thing being a load of bollocks. So you have to get really honest about everything that's happened in the past that might be in the way of this desired outcome. And it's really simple to do an exercise on this. Take a piece of paper, put down the things that if it's one thing at the top, the thing that you want, and put down on the left-hand side all the positive reasons for having it, all the triumphs that it's going to give you, all the things that you might learn about on the way, all the people that you might meet, or the benefits that come to you. That's the honest, open, passionate, committed desire. And then in the other column, you put all your doubts. Why this might not happen, where's it gone wrong in the past, all your concerns, fears. Now, if you've genuinely got none, then woohoo, that's great. But could likely be some. And this honest audit then becomes the ability to transform that. Well, is that really true? Is there any evidence for me otherwhere in my life that I have overcome that situation? Is there anybody I know who I could work with to create a result in this area? So it's not that we can just dismiss or erase these concerns, but we do get to consciously and proactively address them. And some of them could be issues to do with other people, upset or like screw yous to do with other people. And letting those go are incredibly powerful. That momentary self-doubt, if it's a question between you winning the race and someone else pipping you to the post, or you getting the opportunity, you getting the project over someone else, then it could be that last second doubt or question or lingering concern that someone else has, and they're picking that up off you because of your energy. It might not even be something you've said or done, but if your energy is off, that slight hesitation, the slight pause in some of your answers, it can betray your deepest concerns. And of course, inside of this, there's some aspect of fake it till you make it, right? Like how can I be an expert at this thing? How can I create that thing if I've never done it before? You kind of get into imposter syndrome, and can imposter syndrome kick you off target? Well, of course it can. Fake it till you make it has its place, but it does fit into this topic pretty damn well, because if you're faking it till you make it with all expectation of it coming to a success, coming to the desired result, it has to come from a clear foundation, a positive baseline, because then it's about your whole body. Your chemistry has to match your words, otherwise something's off. One of the metaphors that I came up with, one of the sort of examples about how this whole thing in work is a laser pointer. If you've ever had a laser pointer, like it's pretty mental how far you can fire these things. So if you're on a ski holiday and your hotel's on one side of the valley, you can point this thing at the other side of the flipping valley. You can wiggle it around and sketch a green laser drawing on the other side of the mountain. But the moment something gets in the way, a moment a cloud floats past, or a moment even if you put your hand, or someone puts their hand in front of you whilst you're standing on the balcony, that laser gets blocked. It either kills it dead, so that is like the death of all ideas is doubt, or, as can happen more often, it gets bounced off, redirected. It can even get flipping redirected right back at you. And so you don't have any control over where it's going to get rebounded to if you're not clear in your mind, in your intention, in your actions, in your being about this desired outcome. That's the clarity. That's the clear thinking getting you the results that you want. Unresolved doubt kills vision. And that's the honest part of this. So you clear the doubt and you get the clear shot. The doubts, the resignation, the frustration, the fear, and what you're left with is the clear path. The clear shot. And as you've heard me say before, we do get what we think about most of the time. And that is our brain at work. It wants us to win. The success that we desire comes from a clarity of thought. It comes from being able to go to bed on a topic, optimistic and excited, letting our brain work its way around it and come up with new ideas, and then wake us up in the morning with fresh momentum and energy. If you've got 101 different doubts and concerns, or conflicting ideas as well as a part of this, you want to go up, but you also want to go down, that's ridiculous. I guess unless you're making a lift, but like, you get the point, right? You can't want things that are completely the opposite to each other. So you have to come from a clear mind. You have to know about who you are and what you want, because that's where the magic happens. You decide. This conversation could be a revelation for you. You could see something for yourself in this that you've not seen before that could suddenly make a massive difference. And I do hope it's that way, because it is that simple. The law of attraction, manifestation, is as simple as this. As I said at the beginning, this is a game changer for so many men, because we're all cluttered up with a mishmash of thoughts and challenges, doubts and concerns. Go and get your high value man score, because what this will do is it will reveal to you some of those areas where you're leaking your energy, connection and joy. And then we can get clear about the desired outcome in those areas, and then we get after it. Go to highvaluemanproject.com/score and you can do that in just a couple of minutes. And for this episode, who do you know? You can see it yourselves. We see it all the time. People going around in circles, not creating what they said that they wanted to create. Their energy and actions betraying what they said that they want. Are you going to call them out on that? Can you offer them some insight? Maybe this episode, perhaps share it with them. Either, share what you've taken from it or send them the link. Get them to listen to it. I would love you to do that, of course. And I would also love you to give us a little review over at Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Help us bump the Jonnie Jensen Show up. Until next week, I wish you an absolutely epic adventure being the man and dad that you want to be. Thanks again. See you next week. Thanks for tuning in to the Jonnie Jensen Show. Be sure to subscribe, leave a review and share it with fellow dads. Creating the life you deserve starts with you. Get your High Value Man blueprint and join our community of motivated modern dads at highvaluemanproject.com. Let's go.